the most entertaining moments of my career, because not only was Ryan, thank you very much, not only was I'm going to keep passing it around. Because not only was Ryan Murphy just there describing to me this show, he was also, in my mind, describing to me the most peak and extreme Ryan Murphy storyline that I'd ever heard in my life. And then he topped it off by saying, and you'll shoot in Rome and Venice and New York, where I live. So it was kind of like, this sounds brilliant.
And how did you get into your characters, into your roles?
Well, I knew we were going to have some really long fight sequences, so I was training with our great stunts team with that, and doing some MMA back in New York, and we were going to be shooting a very long sequence in Venice, and I was going to be having to do a lot of running, so I ran a lot.
You did. You ran a lot. I didn't do any running.
But you did have to do a lot of contortionist.
Yeah, your transformation was incredible.
That was insane.
It was amazing.
We don't
Sorry,
want to-
Joe, you haven't seen anything.
Of course, we don't want to spoil
That
anything,
doesn't
but
happen.
how about the
It's
physical?
crazy. I can't believe I just said that. Sorry, Disney. Shit.
Rebecca, how about the physical part of this role as well?
Yes.
Yeah. How was? Yeah. I don't want to spoil
No
too
spoilers.
much. No
Yes.
spoilers.
No, there was a lot of physical stuff for me, but compared to Evan, it was very different. I wasn't doing the running and fighting so much.
We had to do a lot of investigatory work.
Yeah, we
A
had
lot
to
of checking out the crime
had to-
scene, figuring it out.
exactly
Why are people exploding?
crack the case. Why are people exploding?
Right.
It's just a question every FBI agent faces. Truly.
Anthony, Jeremy, you're a wonderful action couple in the show. So, how did you balance both the physical part of the role and all the other things involved in the show?
Crazy. It was, yeah, I mean, it was really physical. It was a physical role. A few fight scenes. There's a really exciting one between me and Jeremy later on. I'm just gonna give you guys the whole show today. The depressed story anyway, you know what I'm saying? The show comes out tomorrow. So, but it was amazing. It was really fun. Me and Jeremy have known each other for a long time. We went to college together, so it was we've been friends for forever. So it's this is the first thing we've been able to work on together, and it was so much fun. Like a lot of it didn't feel like work when we were on set together. We were laughing all day, the 12, 13, 14-hour days, and just cracking jokes all day. So it was a lot of fun, and you know, so I really enjoyed just us getting to dig into these characters together, and the fact that we had a lot of scenes together was it was a treat.
Yeah, I think, you know, this is my third project working with Ryan Murphy, and what I've learned about collaborating with him is you need to kind of just come with an open mind, especially to set. You know, things tend to literally transform from the page to what happens in the space. So I think it was a physical role because you wanted to just be able to use your body the way that he needed to, whether it was in a fight scene that we were changing on the day, or whatever was being asked of you. So I know, like, me, Evan, Anthony, I know he was training as well, Ashton, he can speak to it, but we were doing boxing to kind of just get our bodies physically ready to do the things that would be asked of us. So, but it made for just a beautiful time. Again, me and Anthony have known each other for 15 years, so when it came to a lot of the scene work between us, it was really just us laughing and cutting up and having a good time together.
And how was filming in Italy and having these beautiful Italian cities as an action set, which is quite unusual for us?
It was unbelievable. You know, we shot in the Forum, and it was just us. I mean, there was some incredible moments that we had on the show. I think there were a few firsts as well, right? Where we got to shoot at these historical monuments or places, locations, and you know, people would tell us, oh, like, no one's ever done this before, or this is only the second time ever that someone has done something like this. So it was really special to be able to come here, and then also just like the landscape of Rome is beautiful. The colors, the architecture, the people, right? So to have you and and the city as another character in the show, it just took the show to another level. It really did. And then obviously, Lou, our costume designer, just dressed us in the best clothes. So just, and this is one of the fashion, Italy being one of the fashion meccas of the world, getting to look nice and then be in a city that looks nice with people that look nice, it was beautiful, no pun intended, to be honest.
No, I mean, I agree. I think, the location of where you are is another character in the story. So I love that our show is talking about beauty and how we all perceive beauty while we're in one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And I think it's so important that we set up the foundation of our show in a place that is so historically enriched in texture and color and vibrancy and personality. And again, it's just some of the shots. There doesn't need to be any dialogue because the city itself speaks for itself. So that just makes for a beautiful intro to this wild world that Ryan has created.
Ashton, how did you get into
Hi.
your character, which is so nuanced? It is both very funny and dark. So how did you deal with this role in particular?
Hi everyone, and thank you for the question. How did I get into the role? Well, first and foremost, I got in shape. I've been sitting in front of like a computer for like 2 years, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go do this thing. I better get myself in shape. So that was like number one, and then I have a few friends who are very wealthy, and I sort of like observing common behaviors amongst them, and I noticed this like buoyancy that they have in life, where they move through problems as if they're not problems. And I remembered this one individual, very nice person, said to me, I got to a point in life where if money was a problem, it's not a problem. And I thought, wow, that is some way to like move through the world where, like if you went to a prison, you just buy the prison and make it nicer. And I was like, it's a really wild thing. But they all had this kind of general buoyancy. And then without spoiling anything, there was one actor in particular that I just watched all of their material, anything I could find, to understand some variable behaviors that I thought this character could imbue. And then it was really a process after I had a conversation with Ryan about who this person was and what they wanted. It was like trying to like unearth justifications for this character's behaviors, and really like calcify like a noble pursuit in whatever it is that he's doing and whenever he's doing it. Like there's a reason why even people who do awful things in the world somehow find ways to justify to themselves that what they're doing is okay. And so that was the work.
And of course, I have to ask you, how about working with our beloved Isabella Rossellini in those beautiful, witty, and even very mean scenes between the two of you?
One of the most intimidating things I've ever had to do. And when you take someone who, she's a legend, she's a hero, she's iconic, she's all of those things, and then to stand in a scene and have to like verbally undress that person, it's like you're like, who am I to be? First of all, I'm like, who am I to even be on a stage with her? And then having to divorce myself from myself so as that I could have the courage to even like stand up to her and like verbally assault her was good. It was extraordinarily challenging. And then there's this there's a really cool dichotomy that exists between the characters. Like I plugged into a thing where I was like, wait, all this character wants is this other character's approval. And it's kind of, and as I'm in a scene with Isabella, I'm like, if Isabella gives me the slightest compliment about my performance, and so as I'm playing it, I'm just going, maybe she'll give me a compliment at the end of this, maybe she'll be good. And so I just went in looking for her approval in every single scene. And then the magic of Ryan Murphy and what he created is these two characters where this one man has created a synthetic version of beauty, and this other character is like revels in the handmade version, and the way he displays it is by having her wear all these like extraordinary couture dresses that are all handmade, and every bit of her is handmade beauty, and every bit of my character is this synthetic beauty, which is pretty extraordinary.